Ahoy! Today's episode of the Gambola podcast brought to you by our friends from Basketball and Kicks, pare. Whether you're a fan of the PBA, NBA, or yung kakalabas lang the Last Dance, then BNK is
Yes.
the Facebook group you need to join to share your insights in the world of basketball. As we all know, partner, for the past few weeks, walang sports masyado, very toxic yung social
Mm-hmm.
media, and we are so happy to have this documentary just in time for what's happening. It's basically saving us from boredom, eh. So,
Uh-huh.
partner, initial thoughts muna, no, on those two episodes. What do you think on how they made this Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary for Netflix?
Well, my short take on the two episodes, the very short episodes, for me, it was really bitten. I
Yeah,
really wanted more. I really wanted to binge watch like you. You
yeah,
told me yesterday that you really wanted to binge watch. But the thing is, this was, I think, the introduction of how Scottie and Michael Jordan really came up as the best one-two punch, arguably
yeah,
the best one-two punch in history of the NBA. So
yeah,
this showed everyone how close, how Michael Jordan valued Scottie Pippen as a teammate. He
yeah,
even indicated that Scottie Pippen was his favorite teammate all time, right?
yeah,
And you can't really actually you can't really argue on that because they won 6 rings together. And Pippen was, I think, that's the most for me. What was really valuable is it was Pippen embracing his role as the number two guy. That's really hard to find. Shaq and Kobe really butted heads when they were together.
yeah.
No one wanted to be the number two guy, but Pippen really embraced it, and I think that was a very vital thing to do for them to win 6 rings together.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we will be discovering during the 10-part documentaries on Netflix. It's how, because we always know it's Jordan, six-time champion, six-time finals MVP. And people always think that Jordan was the one who did all those things. Yung pangalan na hindi natin napapansin or hindi natin napag-uusapan masyado has always been
Mm-hmm.
Scottie Pippen. And during the documentary, I think in episode 2 sinabi ng isang writer doon that Scottie Pippen is the best number 2 player of all time. Di ba? Parang may ganong
Mm-hmm.
type of statement eh. Which is a good thing to remind everyone, especially the young generation. Ito, yan, yung generation ko, of who Scottie Pippen is. When you say
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Robin, how important Robin is to the whole story. And I think,
Yes.
well, let's go na sa deep dive natin, no, during the first episode, wherein I have my running diary. I was taking notes on
Mm-hmm.
what were the topics being discussed. And I think we could agree during the episode 1, the stage was set on how Jerry Krause, or who he was,
Mm-hmm.
kumbaga as a pioneer of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, and he was basically also the only person that could pull the plug out. I mean, Jerry
Mm-hmm.
Krause, who passed away unfortunately in 2017, he was basically the first topic of that episode. Eh. And there were discussions. Sinabi niya that the roster was aging, tumatanda na sila. Phil Jackson was
Yes.
also aging. He felt like this wasn't when they were about to rebuild. Jerry Cross felt like hindi na dapat si Phil Jackson yung coach for them. So sinabi niya kay Phil Jackson, basically this is the last year for you. So there was also internal feud between Jordan and Pippen na kung saan inaasar nila si Jerry Krause for being short
Mm-hmm.
and stout. And basically,
Openly, yeah.
simply, di ba, Jerry Krause just wanted credit eh. Kasi when we talk about the
Mm-hmm.
dynasty, it's always about Jordan, Pippen, and Phil Jackson. And Jerry
Mm-hmm.
Krause just wanted to have that one small credit na parang, uy guys, pansin nyo naman ako, organizations also win championships, di ba?
Yes. Yes. Actually, a good take on that. No, I think Krause was really irritated because he wanted the spotlight as much as as everyone. He had fat kid problems, as what writer said
Yeah,
in the documentary, and I think the thing that ticks him off is he was the one who built the Chicago Bulls before Michael Jordan or after Michael Jordan.
yeah,
Kumbaga, si Jordan lang ang hindi niya nahawakan na player because it's not him that who drafted Michael Jordan.
yeah,
Everyone else, Pippen and the trade for Rodman,
yep,
the one for Kukoc, siya lahat gumawa nun. Pero si Michael Jordan lang ang hindi niya nagalaw.
yeah,
And of course, Michael Jordan is getting all the spotlight. I mean, not just from the NBA world, but globally. He's probably the most famous person in the world at that time,
Yeah,
arguably,
definitely. Yeah.
and everyone was really worshiping him, no. And I think he was just really insecure, and he really can change the team up, and he made it evident live or in public. He said that everyone is tradable. I mean, come on, you can't trade a Michael Jordan. I mean, so nung sinabi niya yun, si Jordan parang, okay. And Pippen was like, Pippen wasn't even getting paid as much. He was like 122nd on the list
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
highest salaries. I mean, he could arguably be in the top 10 best players in the league at that time, and he's like
Yeah.
122nd. That's insane.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's parang the whole story revolved on Jerry Krause, how he destroyed the Chicago Bulls. How he
Yeah.
said that even though Phil Jackson wins 82 games, he will not coach again next year. And basically, that's the start of the end of the Chicago Bulls reign in 1998.
Yeah, and I think one of the quotes na parating pinag-uusapan during the first two episodes was that, di ba may line doon na players and coaches don't win championships but
Mm-hmm.
organizations do. Yun yung sinasabi ni Jerry Krause And there was an interview during those episodes na sinabi ni Jerry Krause that he was misquoted. Parang sinasabi niya,
Mm-hmm.
hindi lang players and coaches yung nag-champion, pati organizations.
Yes.
Pero the statement felt like so yung
Uh,
organizations yung main reason kung bakit tayo nag-champion which has been the revolving feud between Jordan, Krause, the management, and the Bulls players. That was the thing that was
mm-hmm.
happening. And when we go into the episode 2, I think nawala yung respeto ni Jordan kay Krause during his sophomore year. Yung sinasabi sa kanya na pare, di ba he had
Yes.
a broken foot Jordan really wanted to
Mm-hmm.
play. But actually, it was an eye-opener, especially for the superstars of this generation who wanted to load manage. This guy,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, at the second year, na sabi pa nga, there was a 10% chance na baka his career could be over. He still wanted to risk the 90%. Pero Krause and the
Mm-hmm.
management were on the
Yes.
tanking side na. Sabi nila, Jordan, huwag ka
Mm-hmm.
na maglaro. Wala naman tayo, hindi naman tayo mag-champion Huwag ka na maglaro. And Jordan said, tayo na, di ako magpapatalo kahit kailan. Di ako magpapatalo.
Uh-huh.
Kahit anong mangyari. And you could see on the interviews that's where the friction was starting That's where the loss
Mm-hmm.
of respect between Krause and Jordan really started to ruin the foundation. Jordan was such a competitive person. In episode 1 and episode 2, I think that was the main
Mm-hmm.
point That was the main storyline coming in And pare, I really couldn't help but notice yung similarities nila ni Kobe talaga.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan coming into the Chicago Bulls as a young kid, di ba he saw his teammates now doing drugs, they had women, and Jordan said,
Yes.
ayoko yan. Doon lang ako sa focus ko.
I'm out.
Doon lang ako sa
Yeah.
championship ko. And I could see Kobe's similarities yung story niya as a rookie I mean, would
Mm-hmm.
you agree, partner, na ganun halos yung nagiging ang tawag dito, yung parallels nila?
Yeah. In fact, there was an interview made by Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Couple of, I don't want to go to strip clubs. I don't want to drink. I just want to play ball. And that
Yeah.
really stuck in my mind. Na, wow, this guy is like Michael Jordan. In
Yeah.
so many ways, if not a carbon copy, I can't really say better. I can't really say who's better than the two. They're both really incredible. But I think Michael Jordan had more accolades. Maybe that's the probably the one thing that separates him from
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant. But their games are so parallel to each other, and I'm just so lucky to witness both guys, man. I am just,
You're very, very lucky. I think
I mean, I'm sure you did.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think yung pinaka-lucky na generation in terms of basketball fans really are the
Mm-hmm.
ones that were born in mga 1980s Kasi you guys were
Mm-hmm.
able to appreciate Bird and Magic. Then the rise of Jordan. Then nung nawala si Jordan, there was the rise of Kobe, Kevin Garnett. Then now we could see the LeBron James
Yes.
era or the Stephen Curry era. Alam mo yun, nakukuha niyo yung
Yes.
buong generations The 90s kids, especially yung mga
Mm-hmm.
early 2000s, yun talagang Kobe yan. Kobe LeBron na yan. Jordan
Yes.
is really
Kobe
on the
LeBron.
bottom list na. Kasi they didn't get to see him play And when I was reading yung mga articles about The Last Dance on who decided kung kailan ba i-release yung documentary na to, it was really up to Jordan. I think if you read an ESPN article 2 days ago, sabi nila Jordan approved of this documentary during the 2016 Cavs parade di ba? So you
Yes.
could see yung competitiveness ni Jordan was and is still there. Talagang
Mm-hmm.
during the 2016, people thought LeBron is already equal to Jordan. Tapos si Jordan siguro in
Mm-hmm.
his mind, sabi niya, wait lang, approve ko nga itong documentary na to. Ipakita ko nga muna sa tao sino ba talaga ako. Di ba?
Actually, nag-start yung conversations about releasing the documentary is when the Warriors won 73 games.
Okay.
It was going that the idea was going to him after the Warriors won 73 games, and then parang he agreed na lang when Cleveland won the championship. So parang icing on the cake yung Cleveland championship eh. Kung hindi nag-champion siguro yung Cleveland, siguro hindi natin makapanood tong documentary nito. So one of the rare times I'd say thank you LeBron for for winning that 2016 title, and we're having this incredible documentary of Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Michael Jordan naman, partner, let's talk about Scottie Pippen. So, kanina napagdaanan natin siya. Episode 2 really focused on the importance of Scottie Pippen as we have discussed a while ago. And talagang yung eye-opener dito is how poor he was growing up. Diba? He was, I think, 12 sila magkakapatid eh. He was, I think, the 11th. And his father had a stroke. His brother was also paralyzed because of a wrestling accident. And basically, Scottie used that motivation to bring his family up from poverty. He was raised up in Arkansas, wherein he didn't have really enough money. In fact, di ba dun nga sa college niya, he was just a storage manager pa nga ata. He was asking for the scholarships from the college coach. He tried as a walk-on. He got approved during the NCAA. And that was basically the story of Scottie Thompson. Parang very dependable guy. He never really wanted to get injured. But the underlying statement there for Scottie has always been underpaid. Overvalued but underpaid. Diba?
Yeah, I mean, well, I ever since I've watched the Bulls back in the early 90s, I really saw Pippen talaga as the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
But like as much as valuable as Michael was, that's how I looked at him. He's just a very good player. He's just a reliable player. He's he's a player that plays the game both sides.
Yeah.
And arguably the best defender at that time. So you can argue him or Michael Jordan or Gary Payton. Those guys were really the best defensively. So without Pippen, this is what Michael said. I mean, it's basically without him, he won't be able to win championships, and it's pretty evident and it's pretty clear that they won't win without a Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. And one of the things also that was surprising during the documentary was, of course, as we have said, in underpaid. During the 1991 season, he signed a 7-year, $18 million contract. Sakit. Let's do a quick math. 18 divided by 7. That's basically 2.5 million per year for 7 years. In-explain naman ni Scottie Pippen eh. Sabi niya, he's all about security. Diba? He's all about security. Alam niya madaming umaasa sa kanya. So he couldn't risk getting injured. He couldn't risk getting getting his career over for a shorter contract. So at least alam niya, 7 years, may 2.5 million akong pupasok sa bangko. But looking back at it, partner, that's basically the 6th highest paid player in Chicago Bulls during that season. And out of probably the 250 players, he is basically 122nd. Ganun kalayo. For comparison's sake, I was doing a little research. John Stockton apparently was paid $2 million from 1990 to 1996. So Scottie Pippen and John Stockton apparently were underpaid during their peak years, surprisingly. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, talagang it's really in our faces talaga. No? We can't really deny it. Na he was really underpaid for the amount of skill and talent that he brings to a team.
Yeah.
And for helping Michael Jordan win 6 rings. I mean, and then it was really clear naman that he was really underpaid and he really paid for it after 5 years, 6 years, nagreklamo na siya. He really wanted to get paid.
Yeah.
And of course, Jerry Krause wouldn't do that. That's what Michael said.
And even yung owner, si Jerry Reinsdorf, siya yung nagsabi. Bakit kita bibigyan? Pinirmahan mo yan.
Exactly. I mean, it's a contract. I mean, you have to follow the contract. I don't think the Bulls did something wrong with that.
Yeah.
They're gonna do something wrong if they give him more money because that's not in the contract.
Yeah. Ang maganda nga sa Netflix partner, doon sa documentary, inamin naman ni Scottie Pippen siya yung pumirma. I mean, inamin niya dahil kailangan niya during that time. Ang mali na lang ata niya talaga, yung mistake na lang niya was that during the last season, he was still trying to negotiate yung 7th-year contract niya na hindi naman na may bibigay. Kasi as you have said, contract na yun eh. Hindi ko pwedeng baguhin yan. Hindi naman pwedeng basta-basta. So syempre, si Pippen, gusto niyang bumawi. Nung na-injure naman siya, heading to the 6th title season, sabi niya, okay, during the season nila ako mag-rehab. During that time, partner, do you have recollection of what was happening that 2 months pa lang out si Pippen when you were watching as an NBA fan? I mean, back in 1998.
Yeah. The Bulls really struggled that time. I remember watching Bulls game every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
2 games in ESPN during a span of 1 week, and 1 game in Star Sports. So that gives me 3 games a week. So most of the televised, most of the televised games are Chicago Bulls or Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Minsan lang yung Lakers eh. So anyway, I really witnessed how they struggled. Si Pippen, I think, missed 48 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Close to 50 games.
Yeah.
And they lost their first 4 games. And then I recall the media, I read something that Michael Jordan was really frustrated. He was yelling at his teammates na he shouldn't have come back.
Yeah.
And it was really ugly back then. So talagang they really, I remember this loss against the Boston Celtics. It was, I think, a 5-point loss. Jordan really lost it. I mean, he was punching the blackboard, and it was really clear that he can't really win without Pippen.
Yun ba yung first internal feud nila? Pippen and Jordan. Kasi Kobe Shaq, sikat yan eh. Diba? Kobe Shaq, sikat yung mga internal feuds eh. But Pippen and Jordan, in terms of their internal conflict between the two, wala naman masyadong napag-uusapan eh. But is that one of the first few or madami na ba silang away? In your recollection ba?
I think it wasn't the first, but it was the most intense. Pero if you look at the bigger picture, it's not really as intense as a Kobe and Shaq feud. So parang may tampo factor lang eh. Tampuhan factor lang yung feud nila. Hindi talaga away na nagsusuntukan kagaya ni Shaq and Kobe. So I think Michael Jordan respected Scottie's sentiments at that time. Na he really knew that Scottie Pippen was underpaid. Pero on the other side kasi Jordan knows na it's your fault. You actually signed the contract. So I really feel bad for you, but at the same time, it's your fault. So he can't really, do anything about it.
Yeah, and I think that also explains why, in their post career, they weren't the best of friends. Eh. Diba? I mean, after they have retired from their careers, Pippen moved to Portland, wherein he got the money. Dun siya nakabawi. And when Jordan retired, bumalik siya sa Washington Wizards. There wasn't really a close relationship eh. Even when you look back dun sa Hall of Fame celebration ni Jordan, it wasn't Pippen who introduced or who was the one in Jordan's nasa stage kasama ni Jordan. So probably in the next few episodes, the documentary might explain or might show how vague or probably how civil they really are. Baka mamaya kasi inisip natin na they were the best of friends when in fact they were just teammates or very, very good teammates that probably help each other talaga during the 6th title. What do you think, partner, or your expectations naman from episode 3 to 10? Ano yung mga nakikita mong storylines or the things that you would want to know after the first 2 episodes?
Well, I want to know how Jordan treats his teammates talaga. I want to see the backstage footage of that. Kumbaga, yun yung pinakinaantay ng lahat eh. Everyone wants to see how competitive Jordan is. Yung kaninang episode,
snippets lang eh.
Pinapakita. Yeah, may snippets na kung paano niya anuhin si Kukoc eh. Parang, it's okay. I'm gonna shout at you all day. Mga ganun lang. May mga snippets. So, natutuwa ako and I'm really excited to see. I think it's more like talagang Kobe eh. We saw how Kobe is eh. We saw how he pushed Sasha Vujacic, di ba?
Bullshit, siniko
Alam mo
niya.
yun, nakatama yung video na yun, yung
Siniko niya.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how he drives his teammates. I think very similar sila, and I'm really sad na of course wala na si Kobe. I would really want him to see this documentary, and I'm really also excited for Kobe's interview about this documentary. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, nakikita natin sa trailer that he's going to be part of this documentary. For me naman, actually before the documentary, I was able to read Phil Jackson's book, 10 Rings. 10 Rings ba yung title niya? And I highly recommend it to you, partner, and to our listeners as well. You will be surprised in that book. Kasi alam naman natin yung competitiveness na ni Jordan, and even yung financial issue with Scottie Pippen. But Phil Jackson wrote a lot about Dennis Rodman and his challenges during that season. Specifically yung season na yun. Kasi during that time, si Dennis Rodman, hindi na niya alam anong gusto niyang gawin sa buhay niya. He just wants to stay active. So yung mga out of parties, Las Vegas trips niya, Madonna, Carmen Electra marriage niya, dun lumabas sa book yun eh. And I saw sa ang tawag ito, sa trailer, that he's going to be interviewed. Carmen Electra is also going to be interviewed. So I'm sure they will be focusing on that storyline. But I think once it's all said and done, episodes 1 to 10, pag natapos natin to, partner, it really reminds everyone of Jordan's stature. And the fact that we are still talking about him for almost more than 20 years now. And we are trying to compare people. We are trying to find people to come up close to Jordan's GOAT status. It's just an accomplishment for him eh. Nakaka-excite din talaga yung competitiveness niya. Parang tingin natin dun, it's a myth eh. Now we have tapes to back it up. So we still have a lot of things to discuss about, Porter, though, for episodes 1 and 2. I think in the Netflix side, medyo okay na tayo dun. Let's talk quickly na lang about the NBA, Porter. I think Adam Silver, in some of his interviews recently, sabi niya, they wouldn't make a decision until May 1. So siguro kung lumuwag na yung borders niya. Currently, for the past few days, nagiging positive na daw yung feelings sila about the resumption of the NBA season.
Yung feelings.
Oh, yung feelings sila. Tingin nila pwede. In your opinion, in your honest opinion, what do you think, Porter, is the most logical choice or most logical decision for the NBA handling the season?
I think they would have to play games without fans. I mean, di ba? I mean, they're gonna lose a lot of money then. So might as well bite the bullet, continue the season. Probably start the playoffs already. I'm not really sure how they're gonna handle that, but I think they should really continue this season kasi, well, this is a big chance for LeBron to win another ring. Number one. And it's a good story for the whole NBA. I mean, of course, with Kobe's passing and the Lakers winning the title, and the Lakers not making the playoffs last year. I mean, it's gonna be a good story, and I hope it really does push through. And I'm really looking forward, partner.
Yeah, and I share the same sentiments with you. The past few weeks, of course, we have seen a lot of things happening in terms of itong situation na to. Again, as we have said, this is unprecedented talaga, unprecedented. Never happened. So we are all nasa trial and error basis talaga tayo eh. And going back to the Last Dance, buti na lang pinush nila LeBron James to. Apparently siya yung isa sa mga kumausap sa ESPN talaga na i-release to na mas maaga kaysa sa June. So at least we have something to entertain us. We have something to remind us of Jordan and his legacy. And I think that's about it. As always, thank you, Wee. It's nice to see you again, partner.
You too, partner.
Nice to see you, partner.
Oh my gosh.
Let's try to create other contents. Let's try to create pop culture or other stuff. Kasi baka mamaya medyo tumagal pa yung NBA na to eh. No? We want to keep this Gambola podcast alive. I'm sure there are a lot of podcasts coming in. As always, thank you to Basketball and Kicks, pare. Thank you to my partner, Wee. Safety.
BKP.
Ready to watch. Safe. See you next time.
All right. Peace.
All right. Bye.